Welcome back. In this tutorial, we are going to extend our user controller so that instead of a DAO service, it will use the repository to do all of the operations on it. Currently, it is using the DAO on it. Okay, so let's move down. Okay, and we have the API here. Okay, so it is mapped on slash add user, and it is accepting a user bean and adding it into a DAO service. Basically, we do not have to do anything. We can do the whole stuff using a single statement. In our usual application, we have to write a very complete steps for that and converting that object into a MySQL and then running the SQL queries on it. We do not have to do anything here. As you know that we are using a user bin repository with a JPA repository. Basically, we are extending it, and in a JPA repository we have a list cert repository and a cert repository. So basically we are extending that repository, and in that repository you can see that it has a method save. Okay, it just take the entity and save it. So it is an interface, and when we use AutoWire, it will automatically inject the whole code inside of that repository, so we do not have to do anything. It will do everything by own. Okay, so we just have to use that repository attribute and call that method on it. Okay, so we can easily do it here by repository dot save, and we have to pass the user. Okay, this is what we have to do. Okay, everything else is done by the Spring Boot. This is the beauty of it. Okay, so we just have to execute our application now. Okay, so it is executing now. Okay, now we will move back to our user bean, and now we have the following attributes for them. And in our postman we will create a new request. Okay, it will be a post request on the address add user. Okay, so in the header section we have to tell them we are accepting application slash JSON, and the content type for that is application dot slash JSON, which we are passing into it. Okay, in the body we will move to the raw and we will pass our JSON here. Okay, so the pass JSON is, first of all we will pass the ID. Okay, let's say we said the ID is 8. Okay, and then the next attribute is, okay, let me see, it is a first name and a last name. Okay, for the first name I write Lily here. Okay, and for the last name I write Jackson here, and email and street address. Okay, so for the email we can write anything like lily dot jackson at mail.com. Okay, and for the street address we will like Jackson Street, CA, USA. Okay, and now for the age we can write 27. Okay, so this is the complete post request ready. So it will add a user into our database. Okay, when we run it, okay, we can see that the response is 201 created. Okay, and this is the details which are created into the database. Okay, now we will run a get request and say get all users. Okay, and send it. Okay, so you can see that we have that user. Basically the ID we passed, they ignored that ID because we have mentioned that the ID is a primary key and it should be a generated value always using that strategy. So that's why it is automatically generated from the first. So the ID is 1, and these are all of the details and the links are here. So now our post and get user details are easily and completely working and using our database. Now in our next lecture we will learn about MySQL database.